have the robust capabilities that I really need, I have to level up and pay for it. So at some point in our conversation, not right this minute, but later, we should talk about tech co-ops and the concept of shared ownership of programs for those of us who are trying to increase our capabilities. It's a little silly for one user to be paying that $300 or $400 yearly fee if they're only using it this much, and they could be working with a group. So just mentioning that as possibly something collaboratively people might want to might think about doing together. Um, I'm going to hand the microphone now over officially to Alvin and invite Alvin just to talk for a few moments about the back end of We Charge Genocide TV's live broadcast. So this was a racial justice live broadcast that was produced in a rapid response fashion. So actually, Alvin, you know what? Let me do 4 minutes to talk about the complex way that project works.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to hand the microphone over to you so you can talk about the broadcast and the technology you used to be the technical director and help us to share it over multiple platforms.
Cool.
Since it was kind of successfully, it felt like we shared that broadcast everywhere.
Right.
So We Charge Genocide TV is a rapid response production platform that was put together by a group of majority Black, Indigenous, people of color, queer, working non-hierarchically, organizing asynchronously, using to a certain extent organizing platforms to put down like directions for this is how you do A, and then trusting that some other volunteer on the team will show up, pick up those directions, and actually implement them. So it's been fascinating to see this website populate itself as the person who is, in theory, we're non-hierarchical, but in theory I'm in charge, and I often don't know what I'm about to see when I go to the evidence page where people are in real time posting different pieces of evidence to make the case that the United States is killing Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And on this site, you can search for some piece of evidence. So let's say I wanted to talk about defunding the police. I don't know. I'm going to search for that. What comes up? That's. Oh, so this gives me a tool for having conversations about that. Or if I wanted to, let's talk about what's happening with the Asian community. Did I even spell that right? Searching it, and then that would come up. So that's kind of how the site works, and it invites others to contribute to it. So you can visit the site, make a contribution yourself, and then out of these contributions, some of these contributions are artistic, they're poetry, they're artistic content making the case. And so our live stream event, I'm gonna hit stop share. Oh, actually, I'll share one last thing. The live stream event that we did on June 1st was an example of all of the different types of offerings that we have the ability to explore and give. Um, and one of the offerings we also had in that event was people literally on the streets protesting and also performing in our show at the same time. Because we have tiny cameras, so you can be on the street protesting and then spit a poem real quick. Thank you, Tongo Ison. This is our live stream wall that we set up specifically also to empower our members of our team to be able to live stream from the streets and with a quick hashtag auto populate the website with the content if they're interviewing people on the streets, and that's kind of what the site is doing. I spent a little more time than I planned on telling you about the site. Let me hand this microphone over to Alvin, and then Alvin can show you a little bit about how that production took place and how we captioned it, etc. So
Right.
Alvin.
Yeah. So let me make sure I'm on the mute. Yeah. Hey everybody again. So again, the captioning we used was just I'm a very frugal person in my marketing efforts usually. So it was just web captioner. Since that's the free one, I am experimenting. I need more time this week to experiment with some other just plug-in type ones that I feel like might work better and allow you to edit on the go. But that one it supposedly gets better as you use it more. So the more that you use it, you make a profile and stuff like that's supposed to get better. I'm going to show you kind of like, so like for example, if we were to have today up as a stream, I would like do this. Um, and this is in OBS right now. So open broadcast software. I was able to bring OBS into the Zoom call. And in this way, this is one accessible thing that we did so that it's we could have multiple people from the Zoom call be in one source in one window for people to view, and so that was nice. That's been nice for behind the scenes type of work for different productions, where they can actually see what's going on and stuff with the stream, and there doesn't have to be a share screen type situation and all this other stuff. You can just bring the Zoom directly in there. And then it also allowed us to take the captioning, which I'm going to turn on in a second. Let me see which mic it's on. I think I have it on you guys' mic actually right now. I've been experimenting with that too, switching the microphone source. Typically with a web captioner, you can only capture your own audio, but finding some other plugins online for OBS and whatnot, basically they made some digital cables and you're able to plug those into your OBS and then capture multiple audio sources. And so I did that and was able to capture the speaker's audio too. So it's a little bit more complicated, so I'm not really going to get into that right now.
Excellent. So I'm just going to slow you down, Alvin, so we say this out loud. Yeah. The beautiful affect. So when we watch video of We Charge Genocide TV, that affect came about because you created a workaround on your end. Mm-hmm. You did the digital cable workaround, right, that your OBS system would actually pick up the audio for the entirety of the event.
Correct.
It seemed like it was rather simple, but you might have to do your own session, like your own like I feel like I would want to pay you money to do a 30-minute tutorial showing us how you did that.
Right, exactly.
And would take time. Oh, I see language showing up on the screen.
Yeah, so I started to bring in the captioning. The thing about this captioner is you do want to, as clear as you can speak, the better for this captioner, I've discovered. It's not the most accurate one that I found out on the market. There have been some times I use it, and the flow of the words that it puts on screen is better than the accuracy of the words, if that makes sense to you. So like in poetic terms, you could put, sometimes you could throw in dog for something else that's not dog, and it's like, you got me. It could be a comedic poem in that sense. But yeah, this is the captioning source that we use. It's able to switch those sources. As Claudia said, I would have to do like a tutorial to go into the details of that just to like save time. But this is the bare bones of it. And with this, and with this being in Zoom, we're able to manipulate the scenes in real time. And so I'm just going to do a really jaunty manipulation on mine, which is just me. I just drag the scene obviously up. If I were trying to be artistic in some sense or clean, obviously I wouldn't just move the entire window up. But that's just to show that you can change things in an instant. If I want to write somebody's name in, I can do so in an instant. If I want to insert another video, play a video on the web, switch audio sources, as I discussed earlier, you can do all of those things pretty quickly. And so that's the biggest benefit that I found as a content producer, using OBS for these type of live segments, and why we use it for We Charge Genocide TV, because it's nice to have Zoom. It's nice that you can potentially have up to 500 people in a Zoom call, but that at some point that's only 500 people, and then everybody else is locked out until the replay or whatever it extends up to. Say it's 10,000. That's still, you can accomplish more if you were streaming out to your YouTube, your Facebook. If there's reasons that you're allowed to, then why not give it that larger audience opportunity, which was kind of the point of We Charge.
And Alvin, I think I would love to share the video of the We Charge Genocide TV, just so folks can see what that looks like. One of the